Right. Before we went to a short break, I indicated that we have situations where the coefficient of the squared term is not unity. How do you factorize such? We are going to demonstrate that using part G of the problems that are listed in the notes, 4x squared plus 10x minus 6. Clearly, the coefficient of the squared term here, it is not 1, but it is 4. How do you do that? In addition to the steps there, the step number 1 that you do is this one. Step 1, multiply the coefficient of the squared term by the last term, which is the constant term. Include signs which are in front. And then step number 2, you look for two numbers whose product equals that in step 1. So once you have found the product here, you then look for two numbers whose product is the number that you found in step number 1. And step number 3, and whose sum is the coefficient of the middle term. And then step number 3, you rewrite the middle term using the two numbers. And then step number 4, you group the terms in pairs. And step number 5, you factorize accordingly. Remember, I've shown you how to factorize using the method of grouping. So this one is in pairs. Factorize accordingly. So let's now go into the actual factorization. So here we are going to say 4 times negative 6. Remember, you take the terms, the coefficients together with the signs. The coefficient of this one is plus 4, this one last term is minus 6, and this is minus 24. Then you look for two numbers whose product is this number here, which is minus 24, and whose sum is this one here, which is plus 10. So this one is product and this one is sum. Right, so those two numbers must be factors of 24. We'll come and deal with the sign after getting the factors of 24. So what are the factors of 24? 1 goes how many times into 24? 24 times. 2 goes how many times? It goes 12 times. 3 goes how many times? It goes 8 times. 4 goes how many times? It goes 6 times. So this problem is similar to the one that we did because we're looking for factors of 24. Same applies to this one. But here it is different because the first example of simple factorization was minus 10. Here it's plus 10. So we are not going to be assuming that the same two numbers that we got in that problem will be the same two numbers here. Now let's now do the elimination by inspection and reasoning. 1 and 24, you never get a 10 from 1 and 24 when you add or you subtract. And then we've got 2 and 12. Yes, you can get a 10 when you subtract 2 from 12. This one will retain it. What about 3 and 4? No ways. 8 plus 3 is 11. 8 minus 3 can never be 10. Here, also, you can also get a 10. So the two numbers that we are thinking of are 4 and 6 and 2 and 12. These are the two numbers that we've narrowed down to. Now let's look at this. The product is negative. if the product is negative, let me move this side. If the product is negative, negative product means the two numbers must have opposite signs, positive and negative. In other words, one of the numbers must be a positive, the other number must be a negative. Now, a positive sum means the bigger number is positive. So the reason why we are saying the positive sum means the bigger number is because we know that the two numbers have different signs. One is positive, one is negative. So the same numbers must satisfy this condition. If you bring the two numbers here and you get a positive sum, it means the bigger number among the two must be positive. So what are our two numbers? Our two numbers is 2 and 12. We also have 4 and 6. The bigger number, if we put a negative here and we put a negative here, and then we add. When we add this, it will give us negative 2. So it's out. So this one is out. When you add this, 2 plus negative 12, you get negative 10 here. So this one here, it's out also because we have the bigger number being negative. But our statement here says the sum means the bigger number is positive. If we put a negative sign on a bigger number, these numbers, they will not work for us. So you must be very, very careful where you place the negative. Now let's use this point. We've got 2, which is negative, and we've got positive 12, because the bigger number is positive. You've got negative 4, we've got positive 6. Now let's try and add this. When we add negative 12, 2 plus positive 12, it is positive 10. Let's add this one. Negative 4 plus 6, it is positive 2. So when you look at this one, the one that will give us the correct numbers is this one. The bigger number is the one that is positive. You can identify the two numbers as 2 and 12 and place the sign wrongly. When you place the sign wrongly, it will give you a wrong answer. So the two numbers are negative 2 and positive 2. And when you write them, this is how you write them. Negative 2, positive 12. Remember, you write the number together with its sign. Negative 2, positive 12. We know positive 12 is the same as 2, but for the purpose of consistency in this type of problems, make sure that you include the sign. So this is very, very important. Take note of this here, that when you place a wrong sign in a particular number, you will get the wrong answer. The numbers will be okay, but the signs, they will make it to be very wrong. So let us be mindful of the signs. Let me erase and continue here. Right, now we have our two numbers. Rewrite the middle term using the two numbers. Rewrite the middle term using the two numbers. So we are done with step number 1 and step number 2. Let's rewrite the middle term using the two numbers. So this is our problem. 4x squared plus 10x minus 6. Rewrite the middle term. Allow me to place it here because there is not enough space there. So this will be 4x squared. The middle term is this one. What are the two numbers? Minus 2 plus 12. So I'll say minus 2x plus 12x minus 6. So this one here, when you combine them, they'll give you this. Negative 2x plus 12x is 10x. The reason why we are rewriting this term in terms of these two terms is for us to formulate a 4-termed expression so that we can use the method of grouping. So now we have this. The next step, it will be to group the terms in pairs. 4x squared minus 2x plus 12x minus 6. Here, I'm not changing signs. Why? Because this is a plus. I've pulled out a positive. If you pull out a positive, it will not affect the signs here. Now, when you look at this first pair here, what is common is 2, because 2 goes into 4, it goes into 2. Also x to the power 1, because it's the one with the lowest power. So 2x is common. So I'll pull it out. 2x into 4x squared, 2 cancels 2, goes twice. X into x squared, x to the power 1 divided into x to the power 2 is the same as x squared divided by x to the power 1, loss of indices, which is x to the power 1. We don't leave our answer as x to the power 1 because it will not be in C plus 4. We just leave it as x. So this will be x, and then we have minus. 2x to the power 1 into 2x to the power 1 goes once, plus, what is common here? X is not common because there's no x here. 6, there's a 6 here. 6 into 12, it goes twice without leaving a remainder. So 6 is common. You pull it out. You say 6 into 12x is 2x minus 6 into 6, it's 1. We are not done. Let's look at our pairs. There's 2x minus 1 here, 2x minus 1 here, which means 2x minus 1 is common. So then pull it out. So 2x minus 1, we pull it out, and then you remain with 2x, because 2x minus 1 cancels this, plus 6. Now, I want to pause here and ask you a question. Boys and girls, is this fully factorized? Yes or no? Those of you who are going to say, yes, it's fully factorized, then you are wrong. Those who are saying no, yes, they are correct. Because when you look at this bracket here, 2x, there's no 2x here. So this one is fully factorized. Let's look at this one. There's a 2 here. 2 can also go here, which means that 2 is common here. So what we are going to do, we are going to rewrite this using the method of commutativity. Commutativity or commutative law states that A times B equals B times A, or AB equals BA, or A times B equals B times A. Remember, we said brackets means multiplication. So we've got this bracket times this bracket, which means that 2x minus 6, 2x minus 1. We can interchange this. It will not change the result. So that the one that we want to factor out is on the left side. Now let's factorize here. So 2 is common, we pull it out. So 2 into 2x is x, minus 2 into 6 is 3. So this will be 2x minus 1, and everything is fully factorized. But there is an alternative way of doing it, provided you are not going to lose that factor along the line. So I'm not going to do this problem. I'm just going to show you one other way of doing it without going into these and factorizing at the end. So for the same problem, I'm not going to rework the problem. I'm just showing you another way of factoring that out. So it's 4x squared plus 10x minus 6. Step number 1, you can use the method of common factors. So you look at these 3 terms. Is there anything that is common here? Oh, yes, it is there. There is a 4, there is a 10, there is a 6, but there is a highest common factor. There is a biggest number that can go into 4, into 10, into 6 without leaving a remainder. What is that number? It is a 2. So you pull 2 outside. Then you say 2 into 4x squared, it is 2x squared, plus 2 into 10x, it's 5x, minus 3. But when you get to this point, boys and girls, please don't underline and say I'm done, because if this is 5 marks, you just get 1 mark. It's a common error. That is why I had to do that method and factorize at the end. Because if you do that method and you stop here, you will get 4 marks out of 5. But if you just pull out one factor and stop here, you lose all the marks. Once you are here, you then repeat this method of factorizing harder polynomials, or polynomials whose coefficient of the square term is not 1. You multiply 2 by -3, you get -6. You look for two numbers whose product is -6 and whose sum is +5. And then you follow the same route or the same procedure that we followed. I hope this is clear. Let me stop this far so that I don't bombard you or put too much information in your brain. Digest this. If you have any questions, if you have any misconceptions or have any queries or anything that you want me to clarify on, WhatsApp is there, Moodle is there, you can always do that. Let's try and minimize the classroom contact. Let's try and minimize the office contact, because classroom, we are overcrowded. So if there's anything that you don't understand, use the WhatsApp, use the Moodle, until such a time that we are given a larger class where you can also do online teaching and learning. So COVID-19 is here, so let's protect ourselves. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you so much. I'll meet you in the Wednesday lesson through the same platform. God bless you.